Today we're going to learn how to compare and order integers. So this is section 6.2 in Big Ideas, and it's comparing and ordering, like from least to greatest, integers. Okay, first let's review what are integers. Integers are whole numbers like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and their opposites. Like -1, -2, -3, -4, and so on. Let's grab a highlighter if you have one. Oops. And highlight that word integers if you have one. All right. So these are the numbers like -2 and +2. 4 and -4. Those are called opposites because they're the same distance as 0. Remember that integers also include 0 because 0 is a whole number. Today we're going to start looking at some number lines. In order to plot integers on a number line, and then also how to compare them or order them from least to greatest using a number line. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to use one of the lines on our paper and just draw a nice big long number line. Now we are going to put 0 in the middle, and with a number line it would go to the right going positive. So 0, 1, 2, 3, and let's just go up to 5. Just for the sake of this example, you would go on for forever going positive. Now the way the negative side of a number line works is that this first tick mark is going to be -1, because remember opposites are the same distance from 0. So to go from 0 to 1 is 1 space. So to go from 0 to -1, that also needs to be 1 space. Okay, make that look like a 1 instead of just a line. To go from 0 to 2, that's 2 spaces. So to go from 0 to -2 also needs to be 2 spaces. So it's basically going to count up going negative. It's technically counting down going negative, because the more negative a number it is, the less value it is, which we're going to talk about in a minute. Okay, so our negative side of the number line will be on the left. Our positive side of the number line will be on the right. We can also have vertical number lines, and you don't have to draw this if you don't want to. I'm just going to show you what an example would be, where 0 would be in the middle. You see this a lot with like a thermometer, like an outdoor thermometer that sometimes they have like on your patio or something to show temperature. So it would go positive going up, and then again it would go negative going down from 0. All right, in a traditional number line, as you move left, you get less value. So as you move left, the numbers get smaller. Even though like 5 is technically bigger than 4 when they're positive, when it's negative, the more negative a number it is, the less value you have. So like think about owing someone $5 is owing someone more money than owing someone $4. So you have technically less money because you'd owe them more. Or like if you're thinking like sports, like if you lose 5 yards, that's losing, you're going back farther than if you lose 4 yards. Okay, so the more negative a number it is, the less value it has. Opposite of that, the more positive a number it is, the more value it has. Okay, because $5 is more than $4. So let's just write that down in our notes so we just have that written down somewhere. So the more negative a number is, the smaller the value. Okay, so the number -5 is smaller than the number -4. And we're going to go ahead and highlight that, but I'm going to write the next one as well. So I can just do all my highlighting at once. So opposite of that, the more positive a number is, the greater the value. And we're used to that, like 20 is a greater value than 5, right? We've been using positives ever since we started school, right? So if you have a highlighter, I would go ahead and highlight those because that is something that you are going to want to keep in the back of your mind as we are going through some examples today. Okay. All right, then let's get started on some examples of comparing the value of numbers. So first we're going to start comparing, using the greater than. So I'm just going to put GT for greater than. Greater than symbol opens up to the left. The less than symbol opens up to the right. And then or sometimes it could be equal. So we're going to either use the greater than, less than, or equal to symbol. So the first example we are going to look at is -2 and 3. Okay. I'm going to show you how you can use a number line to do this, but if you can do this without a number line, that's fine as well. When we make number lines, we always put 0 in the middle, and we want to count up to the positive value that we need, which would be 3. We want to count down the same number of spaces. Then all we're going to do is we're going to put dots on where -2 is and dot on where 3 is. Now remember, the more left we go, the less value. So what this means is that -2 is less than 3 because it's more to the left. What's cool about number lines is they are in order least to greatest. So -3 is the smallest number, then -2, then -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. Number lines are automatically, as long as we do them correctly, are in the order from least to greatest. All right, that's pretty easy because when one number is positive, it's going to be bigger than whatever the negative number is. Doesn't matter what that negative number is. However, when we get 2 negatives, that's when I see students starting to make mistakes. Okay, because we know 5 is greater than 3 when they're positive, so a lot of students just go ahead and say -5 is greater than -3, which is actually incorrect. So we're going to put 0. We don't need any positive numbers, so I'm just going to count up a couple. And then count down, I need all the way to -5. I'm going to extend my line. Okay. Again, I'm going to put a dot where there's -3 and a dot where there is -5. Now number lines, remember, are least to greatest. So what this means is -5 is less than -3. But since -3 was listed first, we have to say -3 is greater than -5 because that's the order that they were in the problem. And the reason why I'm having you think that way is because on your big ideas assignment or your practice, they'll just have like a blank space here where you put the symbol and the order will already be there. So, and it'll match what they ask you in the problem. So just getting us ready for that practice. All right, so for these examples, you can use number lines to help you out. You don't have to, okay? That's just a tool you can use. If you can do it mentally, that's fine as well. Let's flip it over to the back side. I ran out of paper. If you can still do it on the front side, go for it. Here we are going to get a long list of numbers, and we're going to order least to greatest. Okay, so for example, our list is -4. This is example 3. -4, 3, 0, -1, and -2. And we want to order these numbers least to greatest. Again, since these are whole numbers, if you can do that on your own, go for it. If you would like to use a number line, that might help you as well. Plop 0 in the middle, count up, count down. Okay, then I'm just going to go through this list and I'm going to put those dots. So -4 would go here, 3 would be here, 0 right in the middle, -1, -2. Now, like what I told you before, number lines are in order from least to greatest, so we can just list these numbers going left to right with those dots. So the first dot is on -4, so that's our smallest number, then -2, then -1, then 0, and then 3, and that is our list of those numbers least to greatest. Okay. All right, we are going to go ahead and do this next example. You do not need to draw this picture. I just have it in here so that we can look at it, because we're just going to do like a real world example as well. Okay, and then we'll be done. So the first question I'm going to ask you is, which one of these cities was the coldest temperature ever recorded? So these degrees right here are the coldest temperature that's ever been recorded in those cities. So for example, in Lynchburg, the coldest temperature that was ever been in Lynchburg is -10 degrees. Okay, in Norfolk, the coldest temperature that's ever been recorded is -3 degrees. Okay. So the coldest temperature out of all of these cities, we would be looking for the most negative number. I want you to go ahead and take a guess and write that number on your piece of paper. Right, the coldest temperature should be -12. And that was found in Richmond. And then our explanation for this would be, it's the most negative number. -12 is the most negative. Okay. Second question I'm going to ask you. Has there ever been a negative Fahrenheit temperature, which is what these F stand for, Fahrenheit, recorded on Wallops Island? So has there ever been a negative temperature on Wallops Island? So we need to find Wallops Island on the map. Looks like it's over here. And the coldest temperature on Wallops Island was 0 degrees. So I want you to go ahead and answer that question B. Has there ever been a negative temperature on Wallops Island if the coldest temperature that's ever been recorded is 0 degrees? If you need some more time to write down, you can pause the video. The answer would be no, because the coldest temperature is 0. You can put a beer there. Which is greater than any negative number. Because what's that saying is that there have not been any temperatures colder than 0, so there have not been any negative temperatures. All right. So that is how we compare and order integers. You can always use a number line as a great tool to help you. You are not required to use a number line. You might have to like plot certain numbers on a number line, but you won't have to use a number line when you're comparing or ordering them. That'll be up to you, but it's always a good tool to use. If you would like to, go ahead, write your summary down here of what we learned today. Again, you don't have to, but if you are going to use these notes for Avid, you will need to.